Ladies and gentlemen, I think we all know how expensive life has gotten in America, in the United States. I'm not going to harp on that. I think we all know what it takes as far as time under task, some of the sacrifices with health, with some of our mental fortitude, with some of the hobbies we do. We spend our time around work, and it's concentrated more so around making it week to week and month to month, more so than working at least in the same conditions, but for a more well thought, planned out future that has breathing room as we age. It's not really like that for most people. It's more on the former, as I mentioned, paycheck to paycheck living. And so if you look at the thumbnail, you guys seen this picture, right? It's been floating around now for a couple years. Like I said, it's nothing new under the sun. It's good to get information quantified, to kind of see it, see it in an outer body experience type of way. What I mean by that is like we know how much it costs or how much we all should be making for a certain lifestyle. But it's one thing to actually know how much it costs to live that lifestyle, because what the numbers show, and this is not just from a financial analysis, you can ask people and they really feel like making $200,000 to $300,000 is rich. There's people in America, now I'm talking about the world, in America who think, who are making anywhere from 50 to 75, 75 to 100. If they can make double to triple, they'll feel comfortable to rich. That's how bad it is. Because one, we shouldn't even need to make that much money. We shouldn't. Two, that's how far the gap has become, because our parents, my parents' age, right, that age group, that last generation or generation before us can make 40, 50, and 60K as a household and be okay. If you're opportunistic enough, if there's more benefits involved, if there's bonuses involved, if there's raises involved, if you can make another 10K on top of that after 5 or 10 years, right, and just float until retirement, you're pretty Gucci. In the heydays, inflation basically doesn't exist anymore. In a way, shit just flies. It's just, it's crazy, guys. It's insane. This is what comfortability looks like. Making around $250,000, right? 190 to 200,000 on the East Coast, especially the Southeast, right? You go in the West or, the Northwest, you're looking around 250, 300K, right? But only really, 5 to 6% of Americans who work earn that. And about a third of Americans who own that still live paycheck to paycheck. You know how crazy that is? But like I said, I'm not gonna make this too much longer, right? This is not, we all know this stuff. But I want y'all to understand, why am I talking about this? Why does this make sense? Because we feel like this is where it's gonna stop. I think people feel like, yeah, once I get to this number, I'm good. Bump the information I just said. Once I get here, I'm good. Which individually, or from a household to household perspective, you can be. But as a whole, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. Inflation, if we still believe that metric has a true value in what it's shown, if we still believe in 2 to 3% of inflation, right? Then do the math. Do the math. Before I'm 40, if I was to still live in the States, before I turn 40, or by the time I turn 40, we're talking about another 8 years, right? 8 to 9 years, right? If I'm making $200,000, to at least match inflation. If I'm already making 200K, to at least match inflation in the next 8 to 9 years, I have to, like, for me to afford the same thing, contribution, taxes, all that shit's the same. For me to afford the same thing between month 0 and month 96, right? Let's just say 8 years. I gotta make another 50 grand. I have to make 250,000. So people who are living right now, right, making 275, 300,000. This is all higher end shit. For you to afford the same life in the next 8 to 9 years, you gotta make 325 to 350,000. This is my point I'm trying to make, guys. This is the peak of the video. This is what I'm trying to say. It's not going to stop. The economic divide will gap heavy. Because when I was younger, man, when I'm like 10, 11, 12, right? If I can make $100,000, I want to get into architecture. $100,000 was a lot. Even on, it wasn't just a lot on paper. 100,000 G's or 100 G's, I guess, right? Making that 05 and 2010, you balling. You're balling. But $100,000 now, guys, especially after taxes and contributions, that's 70 to 75,000 a year. And if you're a family of 4 or 5, that's low class. That's low class. $100,000 10 to 15 years ago was upper class, guys. In a means of value, what you can get. So this is what I'm saying. In the next 8 to 9 years, right? 100 grand. Come on, man. I'm only following the math. I'm only talking about the math. So anyway, man, shit's perspective. All I want to do here is allow you guys to know that there's options where you don't have to think you need to make that much money. There's places in this world, guys. There's places in this world, man, that with the right timing, the right investments, the right amount of struggle, the right strategic plan to do things, man, there's places in this world where you don't have to work again. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy at this point. So anyway, guys, whatever. If y'all found this somewhat information, if I said some shit, cool. Leave a like. Don't, hate me, like me, whatever. Because at the end of the day, after I done recording, and after you look at it, you know what you have and what you don't have, right? That's all that matters. But for those who are trying to increase the quality of life, I mean, it's a start. Limit liability. Don't really worry about increasing your income. Just decrease your expenses. There's a lot of places in this world where you can do that.